Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to see how to install and configure Kubernetes cluster in Ubuntu operating system using kubeadm. We have already seen the basic architecture of Kubernetes in the previous video. Please go through the video in the description section for the basic architecture and components of Kubernetes. For this, we will take 3 nodes. In the first node, we will install the control plane components, and other 2 nodes will be used as worker nodes. As part of the installation and configuration, we will perform all these tasks. First, we will verify all the prerequisites like CPU, memory requirements, and network communication between all these nodes, and so on. And then we will install the container runtime in each of these nodes. For this demo, we will choose container D as the container runtime. Then we will install kubeadm, kubelet, and kubectl in all these 3 nodes. Kubeadm will be used for setting up the cluster, and kubelet will be used for starting and stopping the pods and interacting with the API server and so on. So we will install kubelet in every node, and also we will install kubectl for interacting with the cluster. So once kubeadm is installed, we will initialize the cluster, which will set up the control plane components. Then we will join other worker nodes to the cluster by using kubeadm. Finally, we will install the flannel CNI plugin, which allows each of the pods to communicate with each other through the pod network. Once the control plane and all the worker nodes are set up and the networking between the pods is established, then we will verify the basic cluster operation with an example. So let's start. Here I have set up 3 Linux machines. We can verify the operating system version. The operating system is Ubuntu with version 20.04. Similarly, for the worker nodes also, I am using the same version. We have to install kubeadm first. So this is the official page where we get the instructions for installing kubeadm. For this demo, we are using Kubernetes version 1.30. Before installing kubeadm, we need to check for the prerequisites. First of all, we need to have compatible Linux host. I have already set up 3 machines. We need to have 2 GB or more of RAM per machine. I have allocated 2 GB RAM for each of the machines. We can verify that. Here I have allocated the RAM almost equal to 2 GB. Same is for worker nodes. We need to have 2 CPUs or more. Here I have allocated 2 CPUs for this VM. Same for worker nodes as well. We need to have the network connectivity between all the machines. Here we can check the IP addresses of each of the machine. This is the IP address of this machine, 10.0.0.30 for the master node. Similarly for worker nodes, this is 10.0.0.31. For worker node 2, it is 10.0.0.32. We can verify the connectivity. Let me ping master from here. So it is able to ping. Similarly, we can verify the connections from other machines as well. We also need to have the host name, MAC address, and product UID as unique for each of the nodes. We can click on this link. So we can verify what is the MAC address. This is the MAC address of this interface for the master node. Similarly, we can verify for other nodes. And this is the MAC ID. And this is the MAC address of this interface. And all these MAC addresses are unique for each of the nodes. And we can verify the host names as well. And this is the host name of master node. And this is the host name of worker node 01. And this is the host name of worker node 02. So the host names are also unique to each of the nodes. Now we can verify the product UID as well. This is the UID of master node. And this is for node 1. And this is for node 2. And all these are different to each other. Kubernetes uses a lot of ports for each of the components. So we need to open certain ports for this application. Here we can see all these ports to be opened when we want to install Kubernetes. We also need to disable swap as a prerequisite. This can be done in 2 ways. Directly we can execute a command swap off, or we can change in the configuration file /etc fstab. So for now, let us use this command. I am executing in all 3 nodes. So we have disabled the swap in all the 3 nodes. So we have verified all the prerequisites in all the 3 nodes. Now let us install container runtime in all the 3 nodes. Now let us install container runtime. For this we can follow this section. So here let us click on container runtimes. In this page we can see various container runtimes like container D, CRIO, Docker Engine, and Mirantis, and so on. Before installing container runtime, let us enable IPv4 packet forwarding. This feature is required to route the packets between all the nodes of the cluster. So let us execute these commands in all the nodes. So here we have said IPv4.IP forward is equal to 1. So now let us apply this parameter without any reboot. We can verify whether this property is set to 1 in one of the nodes. So here the property is set to 1. That means the IPv4 packet forwarding is enabled. So now let us install container D. For this, let us go to the Docker documentation. So let us click on this website. Here we have various installation methods. So let us install using apt repository. So let's execute all these commands in all the nodes. So this command will update the package index. This command will install the packages corresponding to CA certificates and curl. These three commands will download the GPG key corresponding to Docker repository, and it will update into the key rings corresponding to Docker. Once we have the GPG key, now we need to add the repository to the list of apt resources in each of the nodes. So now let us update the package index again. Now the container D can be installed. So for that, let us copy this command. So here we do not require Docker CE, CLI, and this buildx plugin and compose plugin. So let us remove all these things. So let us execute this. Container D is installed in all the nodes. Let us check the status in one of the nodes. It is up and running. So we have installed container runtime now. Before using it, we need to configure one more thing related to C group driver. So in addition to container runtime, we will also install kubelet in each of the nodes. Container runtime and kubelet both will interact with the C group driver for managing the C groups in each of the containers which will be created. So we need to ensure the container runtime and kubelet to use the same C group driver. So in the latest versions, by default kubelet is using the C group driver corresponding to systemd. So we need to configure container D also to use the same driver. So for this we need to update this configuration file. So let us change this file in each of the nodes. Let us comment this disable plugins and delete the 3 dots. So let me save this file and I'll create the same file in other nodes as well. So now let us restart container D. We can verify the status of container D in one of the nodes. So it is up and running. So now we have set up the container runtime. Now let us install kubeadm, kubelet, and kubectl in all the nodes. So this is the section for installing kubeadm, kubelet, and kubectl in the same install kubeadm page. Before installing these things, we need to see what are the versions we can use. Here there are 2 pages. One is the version compatibility for Kubernetes and other components, and second one is the versions queue policy for kubeadm specific. So let us open this. Here it shows that the Kubernetes version can be same or one minor version less than kubeadm version. Here Kubernetes version is 1.3, so we will install kubeadm with the same version. Similarly, if kubeadm is at 1.3, the kubelet can be 1.3 to 1.27. That means kubelet minor version can be 3 versions lesser than kubeadm minor version. So let us go back. So these are the instructions. We will execute all these instructions in all the 3 nodes. So this command will install the required libraries like the CA certificates, TPS transport, and also curl and GPG. The libraries are installed. Now we need to download the signing key for Kubernetes repositories. So the key is downloaded. Now we need to add the Kubernetes apt repository to the existing list of repositories. So for that we can execute this command. So once the repositories are added, we need to update the index. Now we can proceed with installing kubelet, kubeadm and kubectl. Now we can see the kubelet, kubeadm and kubectl are installed in all the 3 nodes. We can verify the version of kubeadm. Here we can see that the kubeadm version with major version 1 and minor version 30. We also can pin this version to all these components so that these packages cannot be upgraded automatically. So let us execute that. So we have installed kubeadm, kubelet and kubectl. Now we can proceed with setting up the control plane node. That means we can bootstrap the cluster using kubeadm. Here we can see there is a link to create the cluster. Let us click on it. So these are all the prerequisites we have already seen. For setting up the Kubernetes cluster, we need some Docker images. These images are hosted at registry.k8s.io. So these images will be downloaded when we initialize the cluster using kubeadm. We can download them manually as well. So for initializing the control plane node, we need to execute kubeadm init command. Here we need to pass some of the arguments. So for these arguments, we can click on this link. Here we have kubeadm init command. Here we can see all the options. Here we have 2 options. One is API server advertise address. For this we need to provide the IP address of the API server. Here in this case, we need to provide the IP address of the control plane node. Another important option is pod network CIDR. So in Kubernetes, we have 2 types of networks. One is host network, which will be used by hosts to communicate with each other. And there is another network called pod network, using which all the pods will communicate with each other. We should ensure that these network ranges not to overlap each other. So let us write our command here. So for API server advertise address, we need to provide the IP address of the control plane node. And for pod network, I will use a separate private address range. So this range will provide 2 power 16 minus 3 IP addresses for the pods. So let us execute this command in the control plane node. Now the Kubernetes cluster is getting initialized. So in the first step, it will pull all the required images for all the control plane components like API server, kube control manager, scheduler, etcd and so on. After downloading the images, it is also executing a lot of tasks like generating the certificates for each of the components. And then it is writing some of the configuration files for each of the components. Then it is writing the static pod manifests under this directory. These static pods will be used by kubelet to create corresponding components. Then it is starting the kubelet. The kubelet is started and it is healthy. And also it has booted all the control plane static pods. For example, the API server is healthy. And also it has added some add-ons like core DNS and kube proxy. Finally, the Kubernetes control plane is initialized successfully. So let us copy this output in the notepad. So to connect to the cluster, we need a configuration file. So the configuration file is generated in this directory. We need to copy this configuration file to the user home directory. So let us execute these commands with a non-root user. So here I will use the user vagrant. So now we can go to the home directory. Under this we will have kube. Here we can see config file. So this contains all the information to connect to the cluster. This is the URL for connecting to the API server. And the default username is Kubernetes admin. So when we use this config file, it will use this user to connect to the cluster having this API server URL. We have set up the control plane node. Now we need to join the worker nodes to the cluster. Before joining the worker nodes to the cluster, we need to install the CNI plugin. For this demo, we are using Flannel as CNI plugin. So let us open this link. This page contains various add-ons for CNI. Here let us click on Flannel. So this is the YAML file we need to download. So by default, the pod CIDR is 10.244.0.0/16. If we use other CIDR for pod network, then we need to change this file. So firstly, let us download it. The file is downloaded. Since we are using a different pod network, we need to change the file. So here for the network, I'm changing it to 172.16.0.0/16. In addition to the network, since I am using Vagrant for hosting the virtual machines, the network interfaces for the virtual machines are different when compared to the main network interface ETH0. Here the interface is ETH1. For this we need to change the daemon set configuration. So under daemon set, in the container section, we need to add one more option for interface. So I have added the interface as well. Let us save this file. So the changes are saved. Let us apply this configuration to the cluster. Here we can see a separate namespace kube flannel is created and corresponding service account, the cluster role binding, config map and a new daemon set are created. Now let us see what are all the nodes and pods are running in the cluster. So the master or control plane node is ready. So these are all the pods running. These are all control plane components. The API server, scheduler, controller manager and etcd. Also the kube proxy is running, and also for DNS within the cluster we have core DNS pod is up and running, and the pod corresponding to kube flannel is also up and running. So we have completed the installation of CNI plugin. Now let us join the worker nodes to the cluster. So for this we need to execute this command in all the worker nodes. So this is the worker node 01 and this is worker node 02. So in the node 1 we can see that it was starting the kubelet and it is started and the kubelet is healthy, and then finally the node is joined to the cluster. Similarly in worker node 2 also it has joined the cluster. So now let us verify the nodes and pods again. Now we can see there are 3 nodes and all are ready. Now we can see 2 more pods are added to the flannel and kube proxy and all are running without any issue. So we have joined the worker nodes to the cluster. So now let us verify the cluster operation with an example application. For this I am using this example. Here as part of the deployment it is deploying Nginx. So let us copy this deployment configuration. So as part of the deployment it will create 2 pods and in each pod it will run the Nginx application. So let us save this configuration. Let us apply this configuration to the cluster. So now we can see a new deployment is created. Let us verify the deployments. Here we can see the deployment name is Nginx deployment and 2 pods are running. Let us check the pods. Here both the pods are running. We also need to check whether the pods are distributed to worker nodes or not. So for this I am giving this option. Here we can see that the pods are distributed to both worker node 01 and 02, and these are the corresponding IP addresses. So our example application is running fine. So in this video we have seen how to install and configure Kubernetes cluster in Ubuntu operating system using kubeadm. As part of this we have verified all the prerequisites, and then we have installed the container runtime. We have installed kubeadm, kubelet and kubectl, and then we have set up the control plane node. Then we have installed the CNI plugin and we have joined the worker nodes to the cluster, and finally we have verified with an example application. I hope this video helps. Thanks a lot for watching.